Let's get to who is eating good in the neighborhood, and it is served by Applebee's. And why not the Pittsburgh Steelers? And the Steelers, they go back and they beat the Cleveland Browns this go around 27-14. Coach Dungy, this is a team that you said, even in the wins, it's time for Russell Wilson. They went to Russell Wilson, and they've just been winning more, and they've been winning bigger.
Well, I remember that they were 4-2, but it was a different style and things weren't clicking, especially on offense. And you had some receivers in that period of time thinking, gosh, we can contribute a little more. Well, they put Russell in. It's helped everything. They're throwing the ball better. It's helped the running game because now people have to defend the pass and to defend the whole field. They've won 6 out of 7. They're averaging over 400 yards a game. And it's just been great offense, something Pittsburgh hasn't had since Ben Roethlisberger's heyday, Rodney.
Yeah, you talk about what they didn't have. Like, you think about Matt Canada and remember all the complaints and all the bad, inconsistent play calling. Got to give props to Arthur Smith. I mean, just him coming in, having a game plan ready for Justin Fields, but then all of a sudden shifting and being able to have a different game plan for Russell Wilson, 2 different quarterbacks. So he doesn't get enough credit for the job that he's come in and done. I mean, this is 1 year coaching. All last year, the year before, all we did was complain about this dude, Matt Canada, and like, what the heck is he calling? He won't run the football. He's not doing this enough. But Arthur Smith has come in, and he's worked with 2 different quarterbacks, some guys missing in the starting lineup. I think he's been terrific.
He really has. He's called great games for both quarterbacks. All the talk last year, and we said, oh, this offensive line isn't very good. Well, now things get spread out. Offensive line, I don't know if they've changed, if they've gotten better, but Najee Harris is getting open spaces. Jaylen Warren's getting open spaces. The receivers are getting open, and all of a sudden, nobody's talking about the offensive line.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point. Hey, let's look at both the quarterbacks, though, because we've seen now the Pittsburgh Steelers with either of them, with Justin Fields, with Russell Wilson. The amazing thing is both have resulted in wins, 4-2, 6-1. Look at the yards per game, though. That's way up with Wilson. Look at the points. That's way up with Wilson. So, Coach Dungy, that's what you were pointing to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Justin Fields was playing good football for them. He was making some dynamic plays. They were winning. But I think Mike Tomlin envisioned this. He saw some receivers who could be playmakers. And he saw people crowding the line of scrimmage and tightening down against that running game. And now that they're a balanced unit, they're really, really tough to stop.
Yeah, that offense is a lot more explosive. And you think about Russell Wilson, just the leadership, the experience. He's a Super Bowl champion. So when he walks in the huddle, he has that instant respect from all those players. And they trust and believe in him because, as we've seen, he has a beautiful pass the way he throws it down the field. And he's done a good job of spreading it around, Coach. So it's not like you're on that team and you're like, oh, Russell's not looking at me. He's throwing really to the open guy. So yeah, he's been tremendous, Jack. Absolutely.
And you and I, to your point, we're sitting in the truck last week listening to the post-game interview, and Pat Freiermuth comes on and says, you know what? Everybody's excited now because if I get open, I'm going to get the ball. And we've got a lot of playmakers, and we don't care who gets the stats this week. We don't care because we know, hey, they take away George Pickens, we're going to go to someone else who can make plays. They take away the wide receivers, we're going to come to the tight ends. If they play nickel defense, we're going to run the ball. It doesn't matter. We just want to win, and that's what they're doing.
And you got to give credit to Mike Tomlin for instilling that in the culture, saying, hey, guys, it's about the team. We celebrate each other's success. And that's something that when I was down there, they said to me several times, hey, man, this is a team defense. And when something happens positive, we're celebrating each other's success. That's what makes us a close-knit group.
All right, so let's take Russ because Denver was done with Russ, right? They're ready to let him go. They're sick of looking at this contract. Sean Payton wants to draft a quarterback and the whole thing. And Mike Tomlin goes, come on in. So let's take Russ now with some of the best quarterbacks around the NFL and look at what his numbers and how they stack up. With Goff, with Josh Allen, with Sam Darnold. Look at the points per game over there on the right side of the screen. He is right there in the thick of it, just behind Allen and Goff. Look at the yards per game. He is above everybody except for Goff. And then, of course, the record to go right there along with it, Rod.
And Jack, he's the only Super Bowl champion that we're talking about. Okay.
Yep.
He's the only. Now, Jared Goff, he's been to the Super Bowl, got beat. Josh Allen's never been to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold has never been to the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson, once again, with that experience, that knowledge and wisdom, he's done it for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach.
Yeah, Russell had that calf injury to start the year, so he didn't play. But had he played the whole season and put up numbers like this, we'd be talking about him. Right now, everybody, I think Josh Allen's probably the favorite. Goff has put up some tremendous numbers. Darnold is kind of in the background, even though he's putting up great numbers. But Russell Wilson, those are MVP type numbers if he had played the whole year. So we'll see what's going to happen down the stretch. Now, he's going to have a great defense to go against this week in Philadelphia. But you put up some of those type of numbers and win that game, we'd have to start talking about, man, what has this guy done? And as you say, Jack, 6 months ago, no one wanted it.
But you also feel more confident with him as the quarterback as opposed to a Justin Fields going against that defense, because that defense creates a lot of pressure. They turn the ball over, they get after you. So to have a guy as composed as a Russell Wilson, and Coach, when we're out there, when we're seeing him warm up, just a calm, cool demeanor. That's Russell Wilson, man. Just really proud of everything. And the only thing that I think about is Sean Payton yelling and screaming and belittling that man. And I tell you, Coach, it took, I was actually questioning, like, why did he go off on him? But I actually was really proud of him, the way he just kept his cool and showed the level of respect. And Sean Payton was absolutely out of line. But to see him bounce back and see Mike Tomlin come in and embrace him and hug him and give him a kiss on the head and say, hey, man, I got your back. That's what it's about. And that's what coaching is about. And you do the same thing, Coach.
Amen. Amen. Couldn't agree with you more.
Steelers are going to be a hard out. That's what I just keep thinking. Like, this is going to be a hard team to beat when you get into playoffs. And everything's going to come down to who can go into Kansas City most likely and beat the Chiefs, right? Who could go in there and beat them? And they could be a tough matchup for Kansas City. You know, we just this past Sunday, you're looking at that left tackle position, and it's the third left tackle we've seen. They keep putting guys in there, and now they might be back to Wanya Morris at left tackle. So it may even take a step backward for Kansas City with the little injury to Humphreys late in that game. They could be a team that Kansas City would go, how the heck do we block the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach?
We sat there and we saw how many times Patrick Mahomes got hit against the Chargers. Okay, and Mahomes played outstanding football and let him up. But now you put T.J. Watt and Highsmith out there. How many times are they going to hit Patrick Mahomes, Rod?
And it's not just those two, Herbig, Preston Smith. They got 4 guys they can rotate. Actually, if they're Cam Hayward, they can bring all 4 or 5 of those guys in and just put pass rushers in. It's so many different things they can do from the defensive side of the standpoint. Their secondary has played solid, and I'm a big fan of Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah, and now they can score points too. I mean, we've seen that they can score points on offense.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.